Ah,
All day.
all day, baby. All day.
Hold on.
All right.
Oh, nah, you good. You good. You
Yep.
good. Uh,
I'm here.
we here?
Yeah,
Wait a
we
I'm
can
here.
minute.
hear you, so that's good.
Wait a minute. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the King and I Life podcast, hosted by myself, Soul Toucher the Poet, and my brother in the house.
Son Soul Lex, that's what's up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a divine guest in the house with us, Mr. Jerry Bell Jr. But before we get into that, we got to do some housekeeping. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon. Where else?
All
Email.
your podcast platforms.
That too. Yeah. But you definitely email us at kingandI369@gmail.com. That's KINGANDEYE369@gmail.com for your comments and all that other good stuff. But we have a dope guest in here. He's no stranger to us, and he shouldn't be a stranger to you. Mr. Jerry Bell Jr. is in the house. Before we let you speak, you have established yourself as an award-winning independent film producer, director, and TV film star. Atlanta, Georgia native. You traveled most of your life as a military child and by serving in the Air Force for a number of years. As an acting talent, Jerry, you have performed in multiple national TV shows and commercials. We particularly know you from Manheim, Germany, where we went to school. But most of the world knows you as the Swiffer dad in the popular Swiffer commercial, along with your son, Jerry Bell III. Ladies and gentlemen, we would love to introduce you to Jerry Bell Jr.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, man, how
Make
are
our
you
own
doing?
sound effects up in here.
Yes.
So I can hear the audience a little bit.
Hands.
What's up, man? Appreciate the introduction, King.
Yeah, man.
Little bro. This is my little bro. Y'all my
Yeah.
little bros. Yeah.
For
How you
sure.
doing today, though, man? How you doing today?
Oh, man. I'm blessed. I'm here, Had a little struggle with the COVID, though, back in
Man.
November.
Uh-huh.
And it hit me pretty hard, but God's blessings, I'm still here, man.
That's what's up. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So just alive and thriving, man. Just trying to turn around this industry because COVID affected the entertainment industry quite a bit, man. Brought it back to ground zero.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it gave me an opportunity to kind of reevaluate my path and just kind of lay out a new foundation, making steps forward in my career. So we'll see how things go, man. I'm just happy that things are picking back up.
Yeah, that's good.
Right on.
So
how about you, man? Everything good? Life is good?
Yeah,
Everything's
man,
great? All right, right on.
Life is good, man. Yeah, we started this podcast in December after a year of, back and forth and, life and this, that, and the other, but kicked it off in December. We're doing pretty good out here. But, as with you, striving and definitely trying to get better.
Yeah. Life's a grind and life's a hustle. It seems like ups and downs, life's challenges. Shout out to my man DMX. He was an influencer for me. My mid 20s, man. I'm not that far from him as far as age. And all the success he's had, man, and just knowing that struggles he's had, in his life, man, and how it kind of caught up to him, kind of made me sad. But we just got to keep sticking together, man, supporting each other, educating each other as we get a little bit older.
That's it.
As young as you used to be, man. Take them blood pressure pills. You got high blood pressure. Take the blood pressure. If you're a naturopedic, you're into the natural stuff. Make sure you're taking that stuff too, man. Keeping your blood pressure low.
Definitely.
Black man in this world, man. We got to kind of be on top of that and help educate each other.
Yeah, definitely. So, before we jump into the questions, so the three of us, we met in Germany. I lived in the first building on Washington Street. Y'all lived in the third building. So growing up in Germany, let's talk to the people how that was for us, and it's particularly for you.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I grew up mostly in Atlanta, Georgia. You know, I'm from the SWAT, Southwest Atlanta. I grew up on Bankhead Avenue. And if you know anything about Atlanta, man, you know, you don't get Bankhead and Buckhead mixed up.
Yeah, they definitely do
Bankhead
that.
was straight with the hood, you know what I mean? Straight up hood. And that's where I grew up, man, right in the heart of Bankhead. And you know, my dad traveled a lot. My mom and dad weren't together when I was a kid. So I spent most of my years with just my mom, you know, in the projects. And having the opportunity to go live with my dad after a while as he got a little older opened my eyes to a lot of things because I was just kind of isolated in my community in the limitations of what we had living in the hood. And so I go with my dad, man, he was stationed in Texas, went to Germany, and Germany was just a whole new perspective for me in life. And being out there with people, learning to trust your friends in school, people in school, you know, have a little bit more direct contact with people was pretty nice because where I come from, you had to always have your guards up. It felt like someone was always trying to get over on the necks, you know. And so I learned to kind of let my guards down and be a part of this big community we have, you know, military brats in Germany, you know, and it's good just to see how the legacy just keeps going on and on. Every other year or so, we get together for a reunion, bring all the brothers back, man. I think it's really important. So yeah, life to me was that was a game changer for me. You know, taught me how to just interact with all kinds of nationalities, ethnicities, you know, just the diversity of being in the military community on a military installation, going to school was just amazing.
Yeah. Do you have any like memorable times that you know that you sit back and be like, man, I remember that. Man, I wish I could go back to that.
I remember, man, I have so many of those memories, bro, and they pop up because I think my memory is getting bad. So I get like a little spot check in my dreams sometimes. Like, man, like I remember, you know, the big thing for me in Germany was hooping, playing basketball. That was my first love, man. I love playing basketball and getting out there. And I remember going to one of the first games I saw at BFV on the Benjamin Franklin Village. It was like going to a college game, you know, that's a high school varsity, you know, and I went to a game before I even started going to school. And I sat in the audience and just seeing the hype of the whole community come together, like they're going to watch a college basketball game or NBA game over there. So it was kind of the hype, you know, I wanted to be out there on the floor playing, you know, and then I got picked up on the team. And so I just remember those times. Those were the highlights for me. And hanging out after the fact, everybody getting together and just kicking it and having a good time. Then hanging out with my friends out there too, man. It's like a lot to do. Catching the train, the Strasse all around Germany, renting cars, being able to rent a vehicle, you know, you know what I mean? Being able to rent a vehicle and drive anywhere I want to go as fast as I want to go down the Autobahn.
Oh man.
Yeah. I think I got like a million of these little stories, man, I can get into. I don't know how much time we got.
I know, right?
You know, a million of them, man. Yeah. You know, the little parties we used to have.
Oh man,
yeah. It's good times, man. And it's good just knowing, man. I appreciate how social media has allowed us to stay connected.
Oh, definitely.
You know, even over there, man, everybody go back to their little hubs, you know, back in the US, you know, and it kind of opened my eyes a little bit too to that, you know, and everyone started reaching out again, and then we started having these reunions. So it's been great, man.
Oh yeah,
it's been a great ride so far. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So before you got into acting, what was your career field? What were you doing before you got into acting?
Okay, I'll try to give you a brief rundown of life, you know. So after high school, leaving Germany, I wanted to play basketball. You know, I went back to Atlanta. We didn't get picked up. I didn't get picked up by a team or anything over in Germany. We weren't being seen, although we went undefeated class of '89. We went undefeated on the basketball team. We had dropped down to a AA conference. But anyway, I went back to Atlanta trying to get redshirted for a team. But the reality kicked in when I got back home because I went back to my mom, back to Bankhead. It was just straight street, man. I was like, I got to do something. I'm not going to make it out here. So I joined the Air Force. Spent 8 years in the Air Force working on radar equipment, satellite equipment, went to school for that stuff. And the Air Force was a blessing to me too, because they paid for me to go to school, get my education. Got picked up by Intel. I was stationed in Florida when I left the military. I just got back from Korea, and then I went to Florida. And I was kind of in a paradise. I was in Cocoa Beach. The Air Force had this amazing housing I was staying in. I had an older son who was 27. His name was Devon. Mm-hmm. And so it was just me and him. And then I picked up a job with Intel out here in Oregon. And this is back in like a long time ago. I don't want to tell the how long ago it was. I want to know how old I am. I mean, a real actor don't tell his age. You got to guess. Right. Right. I wanted the audience to guess how old I am. Let's see. We'll see if we get anything. But yeah, from there, I worked on satellite equipment in the Air Force. Went to work for Intel as an engineer tech and became an engineer. And I worked as an engineer for Intel for years before I picked up a job working on contracts management and negotiations. So I negotiated contracts for Intel. And in between that time, I had traveled to Arizona, transferred to Arizona for a few years. And I came back to Oregon. And when I got back to Oregon, that's when I discovered the arts community. And then I realized it's like, hey, man, like I need to probably just kind of loosen up a little bit. Being an engineer, everything's structured. Yeah. And I kind of fell into the path of the arts. A little bit of theatrical arts in the beginning, but then I met someone who was into doing more film projects, and they encouraged me to get into that. The key words were, you have a great look. So my friend, she was like, hey, she worked for a casting agency. She was like, Jerry, man, you have a really good look. You should come do some work for us in some of my commercials. I was like, I ain't doing that. I didn't want people judging me, you know what I mean? Like, right. I didn't want to go to that. She was like, you do good. And I never knew what having a good look meant. I still don't know what that means when it comes to the industry. I have an idea, but I don't really know for sure. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and she, it was one weekend. She hit me at the right time. She was like, hey, we got this commercial shoot this weekend, and we need someone bad, and she was like, you want to come do it? And I was like, no, I don't want to do it. And then she offered, told me how much she was going to pay me for 2 days of work, and I said, she said all I had to do was just smile all day, just be happy all day. And I knew how much they was paying me for this commercial, so I said, okay. And I was a rookie and just showed up on set. Mm-hmm. Didn't like it at first as much. I didn't like the work, but I enjoyed the experience of being on a film set and, working with the makeup artists, and they massaging my scalp, helping me relax when I was getting frustrated, and everyone just spoiling me on set. So that kind of got me interested a little bit more, want to know a little bit more about it, Okay. And there it was just like, yo, I want to try this. The rest kind of been history. I'm just been trying to build up my resume and continue working.
Okay, cool.
That's what's up. Yeah. According to IMDb, you have 69 actor, 13 producer, 5 stunts, 4 director credits, to name a few. For some not small accomplishments. How does that resonate with you, and how does it make you feel? I mean, when you look back on your career and you be like, dang, those are my credits. Like, how does that resonate with you?
Well, I mean, I think it's a perspective thing. I just know that, I've been in the hustle. I put in a lot of work to, to kind of get where I'm at. But I feel like I feel like there's not enough work. I feel like I can continue on. I feel like I always do more. So I'm proud of those moments. There's some amazing moments in IMDb film credits that I have that the experiences have been overwhelming, and there's been some huge projects that have been national television, some movie spots, but and that don't even show the commercial work.
Right.
I probably got about a good 30 to 40 commercial credits under my belt.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it kind of just it makes me happy because I can look back over the past decade, which has been about since I've been into it, and see that I wasn't stagnant. I stayed on top of it, and I just kept the hustle and flow going with what I was passionate about, and I think that's what it is. It was the passion that got me there, and so it makes me feel good. I'm proud of it. I feel better when my friends reach out to me and say, "Man, like I'm impressed." But when you're in the grind, you kind of fall short of really realizing what you've done. Sometimes I think what you're capable of. So it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good.
Yeah, man. Just looking at 69 actor credits, to me on the outside, that's a lot. But I definitely can relate to what you're saying. It doesn't feel like enough. Because with me publishing 3 books, a lot of people say, "Hey, that's a lot." To me, I'm like, well, that's only 3, and I've been writing since '97. So, I mean, I definitely get what you feel, but those accomplishments are, I mean, you get all the props for that, because just knowing what little I know as far as acting, producing, and all that, it's a lot that goes into that. So I mean that's congrats to you on that.
Thank you, man. Like I say, there's some moments in there. There's some big, huge credits in there that I'm pretty blessed to have even had the opportunity to be on some of the projects that I've been on. A lot of them, my early days were more independent film projects, low budget film projects, where it's not all about the money,
Right.
And so I was doing it out of passion in the beginning, and it didn't matter, what they had, what they were paying me. I was like, oh, I get to be on a project, I get to do some acting, I get to, just work on my art, and improve myself professionally. So it created a lot of opportunities. But when I started getting the bigger projects that paid, it made it even better. Like, oh, okay, so I can make a living doing this, doing something I love to do. And that's really what got me. And that's what really makes me proud, those projects that have been able to do that for me.
All right. I was seeing a interview with PD Pablo yesterday, and he was talking about how his first album was more organic for him, and it made it more real for him, the success that came with that. He said only after, that accomplishment with his first album did it actually kind of turn into work. He said his passion was still there, but the work that came along with that kind of took away from him being able to enjoy it as much. Would you say that's true, or do you think that your passion is still just as great as it was from the beginning?
The passion is still there. I feel like I'm still grinding. Felt a little bit down, when the industry stopped due to COVID. All the opportunities just kind of went away. I had to walk away from some really good projects. They had to put on hold, and a lot of them just kind of fizzed out because of COVID. So that was very disappointing to me. But whenever the projects come along, I get really excited. I have gotten a little comfortable, and that's something else that happens. I think as an actor, in the grind, you got to get out there and just audition. You got to get out there and find opportunities and raise your hand and try to get in front of people to try to get on the projects. It's a hustle. Once people get to know you, then it kind of changes the game a little bit. And they call you like, hey, I want you to be on my project. And I found myself at one point just kind of turning projects down because in hindsight, I'm a single dad,
Right.
And, and I was working for, a huge company, a Fortune 500 company, as a senior level manager. So I had to juggle that, for a while, working a regular job and then being able to continue on my passion. So it was burning me out. You know, that's why I had to step away. I left Intel to actually do it full time. And the grind, to me, it still hasn't. I still haven't plateaued where I want to be, but I do know that it pays off. You know, and as far as being organic, as a talent on camera, my skills went up when I learned to kind of let go and not focus as much. And that's when the more organic I am as a person and understand that character, the better off the project ends up being.
Okay.
Wow.
So was acting something that you ever like growing up? Did you ever see yourself in front of the camera, behind the camera, or anywhere in that field?
Oh man, no, like not at all. You know, I mean, like I was 38 years old when I, decided to go do this thing, and I wasn't into it. I didn't want to, it's about, to me, it was about. I wouldn't say that I'm shy. I don't think I've ever been shy. Or maybe I was when I was younger, but it's more like being put on the spot.
Right. Yeah, I feel you.
The industry is like, in my mind, when you're on television, TV and film, you had to have this perfect image, whatever that means. And once I realized that, hey, like they like me for some reason, people like seeing me on camera for some reason, I don't think I'm the prettiest person in the world, I mean, I'm pretty, but I don't think I'm I ain't a beautiful being. But I got to look. They say I got to look. So there's something there, right?
Right.
When I audition, man, I'll tell you what most people say. When I walk in the room, they like my smile. That grabs a lot of people right away. You have a great smile. So I just start smiling more because it makes me feel good and it helps build my confidence.
Right.
But I think whatever chemistry that flows through my veins and my blood, that builds my personality, my image, and how I'm perceived when I walk in the room, seems to grab people a lot. And I've learned that over the years. And I didn't have that kind of confidence to know that. But now I know when I walk in the room, man, some people just kind of pause a little bit, And so whatever it is, man, I accept it, and it helps me to accept it, be confident with it, and push forward. And so when I go audition, and I got a panel of people looking at me trying to decide I fit a character, I don't even think twice about it now.
Definitely. I mean, I remember when we were growing up, man, there are two things I always remembered you for. And one was basketball, and two, like I said, you always had a good looking little female with you. Always. And that's like one of the things that I really remember and I appreciated about you letting me hang out with you.
Whatever, man.
Because it was for a little while, it was like, everywhere you saw Jared, you saw me. Like I was his shadow, literally. So I appreciate
I don't know, man. I just, I mean, to that comment, man, it's like I've always kind of been had like a big brother, energy about me. I was looking out for people. People were a little bit younger than me, and I got a lot of people that can speak to that. Taking people under my wing and helping them out, and I've always hoped that people would do that for me. When it came to the girls, I'm probably gonna go down in history as, I'm probably gonna say, man, that dude, he had good taste in women.
Oh,
definitely
man.
Definitely.
Well, I don't know if they say that. I think they probably just say like, because I made some bad choices too. Don't get me wrong, but I just have there's something that where I'm just a little bit picky when it comes to girls I date, and it's not just the way they look though. It's what's inside. But looking good don't hurt,
Right.
No,
right.
It definitely
does. Right. So we had a comment from Lisa, who is also a brat, and she says, Jerry, the accomplishments you have made are to be proud of, and being able to share a little of your journey in life and how you got to those accomplishments and continuing your life's goals for not only yourself, but for others as well is awesome. Thank you for sharing your story, and I hope it reaches others and allows others to see positive possibilities in life, and that you have to work for what you want in life to accomplish goals and success.
Right on. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I agree. I agree with every word of that. And it's nice to be able to, share my story. And, it feels good when people reach out to me and want to know whatever the element of the things I've achieved over the years, because people reach out for different things. I get people reach out to me about being a single father. The Swiffer commercial highlights a lot of what's real in my life. I think that's the most amazing project I've ever done because I wasn't acting. It was me and my son at our house. I didn't mop the floors like they had me mopping the floor though, but you know what I mean? But they had me, I didn't mop the floors like that, but I didn't know what a Swiffer was actually when they reached out to me. But
wow.
Just being a single dad, I've had people reach out to me, to kind of talk about that and share some of my successes, my challenges being a father, being a single dad, and some of the successes I've had. And I can say that I'm really proud, man, of I have two boys. One is 27 years old. He's living down in Dallas. He was in the Marines, and he owns a couple of businesses that are really successful. And I was a single dad with him too. He moved up with me when he was like 11 years old. He's that's when I was in the Air Force and whatnot. So and then my son now, I think is probably the one of the sweetest kids you ever meet. And it takes for you to meet him to understand that, because people they see him on television, they say, oh, he's a sweet kid, but you can't really tell. But when you see him, you're around him,
Definitely.
Yeah, I've seen him in person a couple of times. He was at you brought him to that one reunion.
Yeah, in Atlanta.
He was just real quiet, real, just real cool, real cool dude, man.
Yeah, he's mellow, man. He's mellow. Yeah. He's interesting because it's like, when he was really young, I got him into acting, and his little career took off, and then he didn't want to do it for a while, and I never pushed it on him.
Right.
And he came back a couple of years ago, like, Dad, I want to do some more commercials. And he did. I said, you sure? Like, yeah. So we started, I started helping him get more gigs, and he's been shining since. He was really shy when he was little. I just kept the cameras in his face. I always challenge his, whenever he's a little shy about stuff, I challenge him a little bit. I push him in different positions to kind of get him to get used to being up in front of people and talking to him and just being himself. And it's starting to pay off now. It's a lot easier when we go and do interviews and commercial work now. So
cool.
So the hard work's been a blessing, and that's a part of my hustle too, man. It's like I can, we're really good at telling our kids, hey, you need to go to college, you need to get a degree. Some families are good enough or well off enough to go ahead and have the financial, stability to put their kids to college, right? Some parents do, a lot don't. And but so we like, hey, go to school, go to college, go to school, go to college. And a lot of Black families don't have the means or even the educational background to show them how to do it.
Right.
It was the rhetoric that I grew up in. My grandparents said, get a trade, learn a trade. And I was like, all right, learn a trade. I didn't know what the hell that meant. Go to college. Couldn't nobody really tell me how to do that. So I was trying to play some basketball to pay for my college degree, But I could do that. I do it with my son, I talk to him. I've set myself up enough to where I could help him go to school. But I think the biggest gift I've given him is what I've learned over the past decade. And that's, being in the arts and accepting me who I am as an individual. Because as a performer, you got to be comfortable. You got to be comfortable with yourself. And having that confidence is hard to come by. And I don't think I really ever had that level of confidence until I got into the artwork.
Okay.
And I see it in him. So.
Definitely had confidence when we were coming up. Because
Yeah.
I don't remember there was a moment ever where I saw you like crack or feel like you weren't, in a comfortable position. It's funny though, because I remember one time though, and I think we're in a gym somewhere. I'm not sure if we're at the high school or somewhere else. And I don't know if you remember, but there's these group of guys, they call themselves being in a little gang or whatever. And one of them fouled you. One of them fouled you, and you're like, "What's up?" And the next thing you know, they gathered up, and you grab one of them, and the rest of them punked out. And I was like, "Dang, okay, all right." So it's kind of like you. I don't know. I want to say it was like 4 or 5 of them. It may have even been more, but you grabbed like the biggest one, I want to say, and you had him in kind of like a chokehold or something, and the rest of them like, okay. So that's pretty much how that ended right there. The next thing you know, we're all back playing basketball, but I've never seen you in a situation where you look like you weren't sure of yourself.
Yeah. No, I mean, when I was young, back in those days, man, I mean, I had just come off the streets, bro. And, I was in fights all the time. And I only weighed like a buck 5 back then, too. I was skinny. I'm a big dude now, man. I didn't have my size then. I was always getting fights, and then it seemed like when I got some size, I haven't been in a fight so long, man, because when I got bigger, don't nobody mess with you.
Right.
I'm not getting my butt whooped right now because I ain't been in a fight in like 20 years, something like that. 20
man.
Years, don't nobody mess with me, especially when I put on that face. I get a little DMX in me.
Right.
And then I started putting that face on, man. And you see me in the movies, man. Some of the shows, they hire me for that. They grind. You gotta be hard.